Now, it's important in TBC to emphasize that when we're doing a full 3D takeoff, that everything does not need to be elevated. So often this is the only data that we're going to elevate are basically road centerline levels, channel levels, tops of curbs, back of footpaths, and then we've got the garden levels of the house foundations and the top of the house foundation. And basically everything else that we can use is going to be sitting in 2D. Now, another important thing is that we need to tell TBC that the data with a zero height is not to be used. Zero is a valid height. So basically everything that we're going to be using for the model goes into the layer group called design. So you can see the entire layer group called design. Everything with a zero height here, we actually need to change it to, instead of being zero, we need to change it to basically have an undefined height. So we just go to CAD, we say change elevation, and we say actually all of this data isn't zero at all. It doesn't have a height at all. And then it's basically going to be ignored when we form the model. Now, another thing I just want to quickly point out is that sometimes you'll have certain grades that you need to insist on for driveways. Here, because we've got back of footpath levels and we've got the bottom of the house foundation levels, then we don't need to worry about that. We've got scattered points for the back of the gardens. However, if we did need to put in some fence levels that needed to maintain a certain grade, then we can just select the line and we can just choose edit. And once again, we can choose an offset slope relative to maybe the back of the house. So it might be here, and we can say that that needs to maintain 10%, and just put auto advance on again. And then we can select and add the heights relative to the back of the house. So we can still carry on and add levels as required. But at this stage, basically this is the data ready to actually form the model. Before we form the model, we're actually going to before we form the model, in this case, we're actually going to go on to the takeoff module, and we're going to use identify site regions. So we're ready to go straight into the takeoff, and that's the next video.